Hey guys, it's Jessica for week number 6 of Transformation Tuesday video blog. I hope that y'all are having an awesome day, and I hope today at least helps one person at least. Today's going to be on depression, and depression is like a mental cloud over our brains, and it's just like this funk and fog, and it's like we just want to stay in bed and we won't want to do anything that we want to do, and it's just, we're saddened and cry and just all this, it's oppression and just this dark cloud, and nobody wants to live like that at all. And it can come in the forms of just being troubled or miserable or brokenhearted, and I think all depression stems from a deeper root, and that deeper root can be abuse, physically, mentally, emotionally. It can be genetics. It can be a major life event happen, like you graduated high school or college, or you moved and you have a different living situation. It can be in the form of anything can cause a depression. And I think substance abuse, of course, can cause depression, but I think as an ex-meth addict, I think that the depression was long before the substance abuse, and sometimes we just try to self-medicate when we actually do drugs just to kind of deal with and cope with our depression and our mental state anyway. So that's a whole different video in itself. So I think approval addiction is another key component of depression. It's we'll always stay depressed if we're dependent on someone else for our happiness, because people always let you down. They will always disappoint. They will always hurt you. It's just life. And they may not even know that they're hurting you, but it is life. So you can't let other people dictate whether you're going to be depressed or not depressed, or happy or not happy. So, the choice is yours and mine. It's everyday choice. You can choose to be, happy or depressed. It's simple as that. And so we have to stop focusing on what we have lost or what we don't have or what has been taken from us. We have to stop focusing, just honing in on our troubles and pity and crap that's happened to us, and really focus on the positives of what we have left. It's crazy even looking back as my dad raised me. He's an amazing dad and man and character and all that. But I always looked at what I didn't have instead of focusing and being thankful for that I had a man like him in my life that worked to provide and that always put us first in no matter what. And so I just hope that for many people that they will just look at their circumstances and realize that it's not as bad as it seems, and life could always be worse, and we need to enjoy it where we're at, because if we're waiting on something to make us happy, there's always going to be negative in every situation and every stage of life. So we can always find something to be miserable about. And so it's a choice. So I think the antidote to depression and, unhappiness is faith. We always have to have faith. And 2 Corinthians 5:7 says, we live by faith and not by sight. And faith is a substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. And I think if we always live our life looking at the negative and the news and what's coming at us, and not really look at it from a faith standpoint, we will always be miserable and hopeless and depressed. And we have to really rest in the faith. Like, you have to have peace that God's working all things for good for those who are called according to his purpose. And it's so true. Like, we can't see the big picture, but he can, and he is working things out for your good. And it may look like really a train wreck right now, but in the future you're going to look back and be like, God had his print in that. God had his hand right on my life, and he was molding it and shaping it to exactly the way he wanted it. And you just have to rest in that. You have to believe in the craziest things that you can't see. You have to believe that you can be happy. You have to believe that you can overcome depression. You have to believe that your life can be different. And you have to believe that your past doesn't have to dictate who you're becoming or your future or anything like that. And Hebrews 3:19 says, so we see that they are not allowed to enter his rest because of their unbelief. And I think that is so true, because if we don't believe that our circumstances can be better, we're never going to rest in that. And I just think depressed people, their minds never rest. They're constantly pitying their circumstances and their situation instead of seeking faith in Jesus. And I accidentally said we, but it's me. I went through that. I went through the deepest, darkest pit that you'll ever, see someone in, and I didn't see any hope, and I didn't believe my circumstances would get better. But I'm telling you right now, you can believe that yours can, because it can. And instead of letting our circumstances overwhelm us, we have to let God's goodness overwhelm us. He's a good God, and He is working everything out perfectly. And Jeremiah 29:11, I know I quoted it before, but He has a plan and purpose for your life. And God is our hope in our troubles. And Deuteronomy 31:8 says, do not be afraid, do not be discouraged. And we have to figure out what our real issues are and what the depression is coming from, and really just begin to hone on that and begin that healing process, and that figuring out what the true cause of our sadness and depression is. And then have the faith that Jesus can change that. And, we can be a new creation and have a new life. So I'm excited. I'm not a doctor. There's chemical imbalances, there's death, and there's circumstances of depression, and I get all that, and there's a season to be sad, and all that's a whole different ballgame. But I'm talking to the ones who can wake up in the morning and be as happy as they want to be and have ever been, because it's a choice, and it's a choice to have faith in the positive and not faith in the negative in your situation. So anyway, have a good day. Thanks. Bye.